Russell Westbrook drops 37 on the Lakers, and the Lakers still trying to climb into that 8th spot in the West. Welcome into the Sporting News Studios. I'm Tom Vandervoort. Joining me now on the phone, as we do every week, Sean Devaney, our NBA writer. And Sean, talk to me about Russell Westbrook, 37 points against the Lakers. How is this guy developing this season?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because he's really peaking at the right time, and that's almost a veteran move. It's not something you expect from somebody who's 24 years old. To start the year, Westbrook really took a back seat both to Kevin Durant and to the new arrival, Kevin Martin, and, really focused on assists. He averaged more than 8.6 assists for both of the first 2 months. But you've seen sort of as the year has progressed that Westbrook has said, all right, I need to sort of kick it into gear myself, and gradually that's happened. He averaged over 24 points in January, 25 points in February. Now it's only 3 games in March, but he's averaging 35 points and 7.5 rebounds. So, this is sort of the progression that you want to see from a guy who has a championship on his mind, where, you don't play your best basketball in November, December. You get yourself ready and let other guys do it, and then you're ready to, really put on that playoff push in April, May, and for the Thunder, hopefully June.
I think of him as like a volatile player. Is that not really the case anymore? Or is that not fair to him anymore?
Yeah, he definitely still makes decisions that make you scratch your head. There's no question about that. But I think that he's gotten much more efficient in terms of what he does, especially, getting to the rim, finishing those shots at the rim. Sometimes he would be a little bit wild, but I think that he's sort of tamed that wildness a little bit. He's still not a great point guard in terms of his playmaking skill, but in terms of what he does for that team, his penetration ability, those things, he has really honed those to the point where he does them very, very efficiently.
Absolutely. Of course, the Thunder came to Oklahoma City from Seattle, and now there's some talk about maybe the Sacramento Kings, who came to Sacramento from Kansas City, going to Seattle. It'd be great to have a team in Seattle, but, Sacramento, this is their only professional sports team, top-tier professional sports team, and the team has meant a lot to that city. So how does this one go in the end?
Yeah, it seemed to be working out perfectly for Commissioner David Stern, who's going to retire next year, but he really wanted to sort of right the wrong of letting Seattle lose the Sonics in 2009, and it seemed like, because the Maloof brothers had sort of bungled things to the extent that they did in Sacramento, it seemed to be a pretty easy stretch for them to go from Sacramento to Seattle. Wouldn't really be the NBA's fault. Well, now Kevin Johnson, the mayor in Sacramento, has found a way to get together a new group that can pretty much match or come close to matching the offer that Chris Hansen, the potential Seattle owner, has made. Now you've got a choice of, do you right the wrong and put the Sonics back in Seattle, or do you rip away the only major professional sports team in Sacramento? Either way, what seemed to be a tidy situation for David Stern has now become a little more complicated.
Any sense of where you think it's going to end up, or would you just purely be guessing at this point?
Chris Hansen has already put down a $30 million down payment. It would get really ugly legally if they backed out on that deal.
Gotcha. Okay, finally we mentioned the Thunder's victory over the Lakers last night, and that win drops the Lakers back under 500, but they have been making a push. Who is the most vulnerable to the Lakers as far as that last playoff spot in the West, and do you think LA is going to get there at the end of the day?
Well, yeah, you've got 2 teams in Houston and Golden State who are looking at a pretty strong stretch of home games. That's going to really be able to carry them, I think, into the playoffs. So I think the one that is vulnerable now is the one that's really struggling, and that's the Utah Jazz, who have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. And they're really, they started on Monday a stretch where they play 8 out of 11 on the road, and that did not start well. They lost in overtime to Milwaukee. And you look at the teams that they've got coming up, and it's Chicago, it's New York, it's Oklahoma City, Memphis, the Knicks, the Rockets, the Spurs. These are all, teams very much in the playoff mix, and teams that are going to be very tough for Utah to handle. The Jazz right now seem to be suffering quite a bit of slippage, especially on the defensive end. They've allowed 100-plus points 5 out of their last 6 games. So, you know, you kind of put all that together, and it looks like if the Lakers are going to pull this off and get into the playoffs, then it's probably going to be the Jazz who are left on the outside.
Ah, yes, left on the outside. Well, we'll see what happens down the stretch. Listen, Sean, thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.